One of the classes I love to teach is fearless marketing, or as I used to call it, marketing for authors who hate to market, which I got to say describes a lot of writers. It's not their favorite part of being an author. And by marketing, by the way, I mean everything that really comes after you finish writing a book, say, whether it's writing a query letter to an agent or pitching to agents and editors at conferences, or promoting a book once you've published it, whether through online or social media or public appearances, all that stuff about being an author that's not actually writing. A lot of writers do not enjoy it, don't like it, don't think they're any good at it. And you can't do anything well if you don't like it. You can't do anything well if you don't trust it, if you don't enjoy it. You just can't. So that's why I teach fearless marketing to help authors get past that. But there's a lot of reasons writers don't like that part of the process, but I want to focus on one in particular, which is that if you're like me, if you're a writer like me, you love to write when it's going well, you love it. But even more than that, maybe you understand life in a way as a creative process while you're writing, or you understand the creative process of life while you're writing. Here's what I mean by that. While we write, we ask questions and then answers come. I've talked about this on the podcast a lot. We ask questions and then answers come. But if you've ever written for any amount of time, you know that sometimes you ask a question and the answer doesn't come right away. Yeah. Sometimes you reach the end of a sentence and there's more to, you're not done with the paragraph, say, and that cursor's sitting there blinking, and you go, well, what's going to come next? How should I describe that? What should happen next? You ask a question about the piece you're working on, but the answer's not there immediately. But if you've written for any amount of time, you know that that's part of the process. Ask a question, wait for the answer. Ask a question, wait for the answer. And a lot of what we do as writers is learn how to wait for the answer in the most productive way possible. Staying open, staying interested, staying curious, trusting it will come. That's so much of what writing is, forming the question in a way that really invites the answer. I don't know how else to describe it. So much of my time is spent waiting for the answer, asking and waiting. Sometimes it comes quickly, and sometimes it takes a day or two. Sometimes it just takes 10 or 15 minutes. But if you've written, you know that process. You work with that process all the time. And I think one of the reasons writers start getting afraid of or hating all the business that comes afterwards is they don't see it as a creative process. They don't see marketing as creative. It's just something they've got to do and do right if they want to have a career. And I think if you want to enjoy anything, and if you're already someone who's identified that you enjoy creativity, you've got to see it as a creative process. And the two most important parts of that are, one, understanding there's no right way to do anything, including marketing. So whether you love social media or book talk or have a podcast or do, public appearances, whatever floats your boat. There's no right way to market a book. But more importantly than that, more importantly, you have to understand that the mechanism of question and answer continues even when you're not writing. And so in life, we'll call it the marketing part of being an author, which is not you at a page. You ask questions. Well, how best could I promote this book? What would be a cool way for me to get the word out, for instance? That's a question we might ask. Chances are you're going to ask that question and you're not going to have an answer. Now, if you were writing and you asked a question and didn't get an answer, you wouldn't panic right away, hopefully. No, you'd sit there and wait at the page until the answer came. Well, the same is true of the rest of your life, particularly folk marketing in this case. You ask the question and then you wait and the answer comes. But what happens, I think, sometimes for authors is that because marketing isn't their area of expertise, not having an answer feels like just a product of their ignorance. In other words, having never done something, not knowing the right answer. But it's not. It's a creative question. How best could I promote this work? How best could I share this work? It's a creative question. And if you see it as a creative question, now you allow yourself to get the answer, any answer. There's no right answer, remember. There's no right way to promote your work. And so you invite the answer just like you were writing a book. And if you can see, and when I remember that all of life is creative, including promoting my work, I enjoy it a lot more because the only thing I really enjoy is being creative, truth be told. And it's up to me to see everything every moment as possessing creative potential. What it takes to write the book you want to write is what it takes to lead the life you want to lead. What it takes to write the book you want to write is what it takes to promote the book that you've written. It's all the same process. Don't stop being an artist just because you're selling your work. Don't stop being creative just because you're marketing it. Don't ever stop being creative. That's what you are. That's what you're meant to be. Don't stop using the mechanism just because you haven't mastered it, because you don't yet feel comfortable with it. Stay creative. You have been building that creative muscle, maybe for years, by sitting at the page, asking yourself, what's next? What's next? What next? What's next? That muscle is probably pretty strong. Use it. Use it. Understand it's functioning all the time. Use the question, wait for the answer. Ask the question, wait for the answer. It's the only way I really know how to do anything. It's true. Hey, thanks for tuning in. As always, if you don't want to miss a dose, hit subscribe. And if you like it, say so. I want to hear from you. So, till next week, this is Bill Kenower. Stay fearless.